very excited to be here today with all of you. Give everyone a few minutes to come in. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and a like. And please share it out if it resonates with you. And hello, Andrea. How are you? Yeah, very excited to play today. You know, we can all say it's a magical time to be here, but it is not without challenges sometimes, right? So for me in particular, this whole month, it's been energetically invigorating, but definitely a little challenging too. I needed some extra me time and some extra nurturing for self because no one else is going to give that to me. I'm the only one who knows what this mind and body need and this soul. So, hello, Shay. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, we'll give everyone a few minutes to come in. That I welcome you with love wherever you're at. You're right where you're meant to be. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tanja Powell. You can just look up my name and you'll see my whole history splayed because I've never really hidden myself. I've always said they got it all anyway, so let's just put it on display. So there's lots to explore and find out. And I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. No question is a bad question. I've been through most of the depth and darkness in life, so to speak, only to come out the other side stronger and better for it. So, yeah. So just know no matter what life is throwing at you, it's happening for you, not to you. And that really sounds trite sometimes, but there's a lot to it. And I wanted to remind everyone that love is not an emotion. Love cannot be labeled. Love cannot be outside of you. It's more of a state of being. So that when you are so unconditionally in love with who you are, no matter what has happened in your life, that you come to peace with that and don't have judgment against yourself or other people, life becomes a little easier. It can be a little more enjoyable. And then when you realize that you're so much more than this body and this mind, the great I am that you are, this macrocosm, you're the microcosm of the macrocosm. So what does that really mean? That means we're all so intrusively connected and we all want the same thing. We all want peace, love, and harmony. We want everyone to have the best life they can possibly have. For when we all have that, then things are equal. There's no game being played. There's no manipulation. There's no lying. There's no cheating. So being truthful with yourself is the best place to start, being honest with yourself. Because if you're not being honest with yourself, it doesn't matter who you're honest with outside of yourself, you're not being honest with you. And so there's a few words of wisdom for our starting out today, and there's much we can share. Hello, Cindy. Oh, Andrea, anxiety and excitement feel really similar. Maybe we're just nervous-sided about something new, hopefully. Yeah. So I'm taking questions today, doing any healings that need to be done. And we've moved right into fall here in North Vancouver. Well, it's not horrible, but I had to go put a vest on because I was cold, and I don't like to be cold. I like to be just right, just warm enough, just happy enough, right? Yeah. And tonight I'm at Kalena Movement Studio. Tonight we have a special event, a sauna, cold plunge, and sound bath, all rolled into one here in North Van. So I'm looking forward to that. And I certainly didn't want to go rocking into that cold. So absolutely. Yeah. Well, Andrea, if there's nothing going on exciting, is it yours? Did you ask that? Is this energy you're picking up on, this anxiety attack? Is it yours? Is it somebody else that's feeling that way and you're tapping into it? And so some of you are on Rumble, some of you are on YouTube. I can see YouTube and I can see Facebook. I cannot see Rumble without having the pop-out chat. So I'm not going to be able to post the comments for Rumble, but I will read them out. Does our soul have a name? Okay, so that's the rod. And for those of you that don't know, I utilize this rod to travel Egypt. This rod I utilize instead of dowsing. And so one can body dowse, one can use a pendulum. There's many different ways of getting answers that don't come from the mind. And so, does our soul have a name? Somewhat. I get a little bit, right? Does our soul have a name? No, I'm getting a no. Okay. And so I have to remember to tap down in here. Does our soul have a name? See, we only use names in this way, everything is energy. So your frequency is how you are known. It's the frequency of you. So I would say that is more critical and more important. All right, Andrea's had a rough day at work. All right, you cleared it though. Okay. Yeah, you're picking up a lot when you're at work. I know she does retail, so take a few minutes. We're going to want to take a deep breath in. And you can release it out of your mouth or your nose. And remember, the more you can slow down your breathing as a habit to become more conscious and clear, that breathing slower calms us down. Breathing slower connects us to the present moment and to nature more. Remembering that we are nature. Everything we eat, drink, breathe is only here because of nature. And so, welcome, Melanie. Take a deep breath. You're not late. You're just on time. Never late. Yeah, never late. Now, you can, if you want to call your soul by something. I just use the I am. And by using I am statements, we move past the mind. For you are not your mind. You are not your body. You are the one observing all of that. Right? All right, Andrea. So let's clear a little anxiety for you. So you keep typing that out. No more typing out. I'm having an anxiety panic attack. Quit claiming it. Hello, Image25. Yes, good to be here. Welcome. Glad you're here. Just going to do a little calming and healing energy as we have a conversation. And again, if you have any questions or anything specific you want to talk about, ask away. We're going to tap into whatever comes through today, because that's kind of how I roll. Now, creating your reality is the topic. And so you can't see my hands, but I am flowing energy through me. I am activated before I come on. I napidated before I came on. It's part of my process to be in this space, to show up. It's with attention and intention. For when you have attention and intention for something, that's where your energy goes. That's where it flows. And you can activate yourself in that way. And so be very cautious, conscientious of what you are choosing to focus on. Yeah. If I choose to focus on lack, I'm sending out that vibration within my body, sends out that frequency. It's going to give me more of that back. And so whenever we feel we're in a bit of lack, it is good to go to gratitude. What can you be grateful for right now? I'm grateful I get to be on here. I'm grateful I have a home over my head. Like, really grateful for this home. It's been an amazing home. It is an amazing home. I've been here for 18 years. My child grew up here. So grateful for her. She gets to play outside. They used to play outside like I did when I was a kid. That's how cool this spot was for raising kids, because we're in a big complex. I don't like that word, but common housing. I'm in a townhouse in the front, and then there's a U shape of condos out this back window here. And I used to be in one of the condos, and then I moved into the townhouse. And there's a pool. Jade learned how to swim here. I'm grateful for that. Climb trees, play. Like everyone's had, all the kids here had such a beautiful opportunity, and then all parents listened and watched. So I'm super grateful for this space. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful that I'm aware and I'm wise, right? That I know I'm more than what I view with these eyes. Yeah, so don't forget that gratitude list in the morning can be really powerful at transforming your reality. Yeah. Funny story with the paint. So Imaj is saying, love the purple room. That's a beautiful deep purple. So purple is the top crown chakra. I always call it white, and I call this one purple. It's irrelevant to me. It's the energy with them, but quite often, or indigo, and then purple. But I run a painting company, and my feature walls in my house, first it was red, root chakra. The other color I had going at the time was an orange. And then also yellow. So I went up through my chakras. I've had every color either as an accent or as just a color. I naturally did that. I've also had my colors run as far as like a reading on colors, like what colors were my colors, similar idea. So yes, grateful for my breath that I received from source. Yeah. Grateful for this body that can breathe. Absolutely. Yeah. Purple rain. Prince. Yeah. Doesn't he speaking a lot of truth? Absolutely. So I just wanted to come on today and bring everyone a lot of a little peace and some harmony. I do have my rod here if you want to ask any questions. I'm happy to utilize that because it's a nice focal point to ask questions of, remembering that these questions are good in this time and space only, which is most important. And Melanie says, at work, I worked through so many challenges today. After freaking out for a minute, I realized, wait, this is happening for me, not to me. What am I supposed to face? Well, there's something in particular happening in your personal life. And however you're starting your day around that is being amplified throughout the day. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I know it's been challenging, guys. Good evening, Sharon. Nice. Absolutely. Purple's a great color. Yeah, today's been challenging. Yeah. So here's what happens as we go through this process of expansion, ascension, whatever you choose to call it. As we go through this, first there's this real elation of, oh, I'm so much more than I've been led to believe my entire life. But as you up level and overcome things, you're like, oh, I got this. Dun, dun, right? You realize that no matter what shows up and what happens, that you're going to be okay. But I find that often the challenges get a little more challenging, right? These tests that you go through. Now, and especially as you're working through your body and releasing those trapped emotions, because that will bring up other emotions. And so being able to observe them and move through them, being able to observe the emotions and the thoughts and observe them like a wave going by you. Don't attach to them. Just be the observer. For when you're the observer and you don't attach and you can stay in a neutral position, it does take space and some time and some practice to get to that level per se, that one starts to observe. And we have to remember that no matter what's going on externally, my center point is within me. So it doesn't matter where I go or what I do. I can close my eyes and find my center point. It can be, I do it at the airports all the time because I'm always like, oh, this girl is like waiting for that fast train, that UFO, like anything but this system of slow. So I'm very patient with it because I know it is what it is right now. And I just keep visualizing being on that bullet train and going zoom, zoom. We got this, or, zoom up to the spaceship. Come on, pick me up. Let's go. Let's go play. And so I go to when I'm at the airport, I will close my eyes and I'll just go inward, and everything's happening around me, but I'm in a place of peace because that's always within me. You can choose peace no matter what's going on externally. And it does take some practice, 100%. Sharon, yes. Money, love, shame. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's part of that. That's the mind trying to control you, because it's saying testing, 1, 2, 3. What will you do if I give you this, you see? So you have to remember that's more of the ego mind. Go back to your center. I've always been taken care of till now. Go to gratitude. No matter what, I have a roof over my head and I have food. Like, it's really important I know it can be challenging when you're in it and in the thick of it, but if you can just move to things to be grateful for and literally close your eyes and have that gratitude. Yeah. Yes. So Shannon, if you struggles to meditate, how would you go about getting clarity on a situation? I would write out the question. And even if you can do a active meditation or a guided meditation, just even on breath, a mantra 21 times, Om 21 times helps to your toning of your voice is really good for toning your body. And so you can really utilize that for toning your body. And when you tone your body, you shift your vibration. And the breath. You can also just focus on the breath. Literally set a timer for 1 minute and just focus on your breath for a minute, and then build upon that every day. Add 15 seconds, as much as you can. In our membership right now, we're just building up. So I did 5 minutes this morning, which will be live on there. And tomorrow I'm going to do 10. And then I'm going to do 15. And you come in with my frequency at the beginning to set you up. And then I bring you out at the end. So you don't have to think about the timing, which is what the mind wants to do. And you're within my energy doing that, because it doesn't matter time or space with the frequency. So that's one of the gifts of membership, is being able to get on. And so if you have a specific question you want to ask about, have you tried body dosing? So there we go, warming up. Body dosing is when you stand up tall, or you can sit up tall. You take a few deep breaths, and you can tap your chest. And the reason I'm tapping my chest and I close my eyes is I'm going out of my sense of seeing, and I'm going into my body, and I'm feeling in my heart space. Or if everyone always said, what would love do in this situation? That can often be a good answer. And you can say, body, please show me a yes. And I get a clear pulling forward feeling for myself. And for a no, I get a clear pulling backward feeling. So give that a try and let me know how that goes. But also writing out the question. You can even list all the pros and cons, will often assist in that. But also writing out the question, and then keep asking why, but why? And then you'll get to the root cause of it as well. So usually a situation would involve somebody else. And so you want to do what's best for you, and make anything that's an outcome of this being about your perspective. So when we talk about speaking your truth for the throat especially, you always want to speak from your perspective, or give yourself space if you're not going to be kind. So rather than react, we want to wait and respond. Because reaction, all you're doing is fighting fire with fire, especially in tense situations. So by giving some space and responding, the energy dissipates if it's been risen up around it, and it's much easier. And then I'm just really feeling it's not the right time for me, or I need a few days to think about this. Can we make a time? Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. Membership is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So absolutely. That's so true. So active meditation can sometimes help me. I'll be lost while mowing the lawn and realize I can accidentally think clearly. So it's especially when things like driving, walking in nature without your phone, although you can have it in your pocket, but I would turn it off, and without earbuds or anything in, and just listening and using your senses that way will bring you into a very present moment and make it much better. Yeah, Andrea's in membership and she says, yes, I'm getting better at responding rather than reacting. Beautiful. Absolutely. All right. Let's hop over to Rumble. Dun, 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 dun. Will the earthlings stop eating other earthlings? I believe animals, birds, and the sea life should not be eaten. And the great mass awakening includes protecting all breathing life forms. Yes, I don't disagree. So, but there's a but here. Everyone is at different levels of consciousness. And so we look at the scales of consciousness. If everyone was at the same consciousness, it would be really discombobulating. In fact, it is very important that we have fundamental different levels. Some people will always stay where they are as far as the matrix system. They don't want to leave it. That is good for them. Maybe it's their first time being in a human body, and this is survival is just, it's just hard enough. So it's the go along to get along, and it's the certain beliefs. And so we don't want to be judging, even though we may choose not to. If we judge someone else because we're all connected, we're in turn judging ourselves. And the judgment is harder on you than somebody else just doing what they're doing and doing it with love. Does that make sense? But yes, I do agree. We can live on light. Are we right now? Not in this density, not at this time. And so I think, especially with the energies, my appetite will be like this. But I generally fast a lot more. I haven't fasted for 3 days in quite a while, but I haven't been called to. It's almost like I'm burning so much energy that I need to have a bit more. Now today was like a shake and a nut cookie. That's what I broke my fast with. And so we all have different levels of what works for us, but you'll find a lot of people still choose to eat meat. I think it depends on your blood type. But what is their relationship about eating that would be more of gratitude for the animal that gave up its life. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I agree. And you know what? I cried. So I cried over a video of milking cows that were going, this milking cow got to go to a farm. This is part of the process. This is part of the expansion, is to be at the state you're in where it's not judgment. I speak for the voiceless, and the animal abuse in any form is wrong. Live and let live. And I have many friends that won't even eat chicken eggs because of this. And that's okay. That's okay. It's part of the process. I actually cried over a mother cow who was a milking cow who got rescued and got to have a second life at this beautiful farm. So they adopted her, and she went and hid and had a baby. They didn't know she was pregnant. She went and hid the baby because her babies had always been taken away. So you can't tell me that cows don't have consciousness. They do. And so that I was just like, bah, ha, ha. So I get it. I get it. Absolutely. Live and let live. Absolutely. Not all people are ready to be vegetarians quite yet. So, but you know what? You can choose to advocate for that lifestyle. Absolutely. Write about it. I think it's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Laura says, new to meditation, I notice my upturned palms and arms feel heavy. Yes. Sometimes environmental sounds become faded away. A sense of distance from those sounds. Is this common? Yes. Yes. Because that's your center point. It's like the void. It's the void where it is always home. So I always say home is always here. It's within you. Yes, Laura, keep going. That's super beautiful. Yeah, you'll have some more experiences as you go along. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, imagine shining my light. Thank you, Tanya. You're welcome, love. Everyone deserves to shine their light in whichever way, because you will find your tribe by doing that, by being your highest vibration. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, meditation can be very helpful. Let's talk a little bit more about this creating your reality. And so as we go through this process, and it's a give and take. You're going to find some days are really easy and really good, and other days are not. And that's normal. I've been at this for a long time. I don't have all good days. I just know how to better manage them, right? Things still come at me. Mostly right now, it's more energetics, which I'm like quite fascinated by because I'm a very balanced individual. But on the full moon, was that the full moon? Is that on the full moon? Yeah, I think it was on the full moon. I literally, like, dinner just came back up. I was like, well, that's interesting. I'm not one, this doesn't normally happen to me. But I was like, I'm not feeling so good. Why am I not feeling so good? It was like, it was done. It was not staying down. And I was like, And then I felt totally fine afterwards. Like, some things just, I don't need to ask. And I'm just shuffling the cards right now, too. So in creating your reality, that gratitude list in the morning is very powerful. That quiet contemplation time, that time that it's just you before a device comes into the game. They call them a cell phone for a reason. And I know it. I observe myself doing it where I'll be like, oh, I've got a few minutes to kill, right? And I'm like, damn, it's amazing how as soon as you pull it out, right, you're focused right in. Now I'm just going in and replying to stuff and getting out, but as I look around me again, I'm like, oh, that's fascinating. It's fascinating to observe it from a different perspective, which is me observing myself doing what I'm doing, right? And so that being really the observer is one of the best tools in your toolbox, because somebody else can be wigging out in front of me and I can just observe them. It really pisses them off if I have a smile on my face. I try not to all the time. I can empathize with someone because whatever they're going through, I cannot perceive to know exactly what they're going through. I probably have a similar situation at some point in my life, but being able to observe them, but still hold that energy space of me, calm, cool, and collected, allows them to purge whatever they needed to purge. People do it driving to me all the time. I'm like, it just doesn't affect me. Now, it's nice to have the barrier of the car, but I can observe it and just keep holding that. Okay. And I'll take a deep breath when something like that happens because it gives them permission to breathe. And quite often in the pause is that permission to take a breath, to take a moment, even if somebody else, and to be seen and heard. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. Is there something going on that you want to share? Yeah. Please explain how hold on one second. Responsibility, our ability to respond in a mindful way. No response is a response. Responsibility. Yes, absolutely. Please explain how you pronounced unconscious earlier tonight in your podcast. Unconscious. When you make the unconscious conscious, when you become aware of something, something is unconscious of. So consciousness is the experience of what we're doing here. I am conscious of what's going on around me. I am aware. It's to be aware. It's to be the observer. And so if you're not conscious, then you're following, you're almost just going along like a robot, right? Or a hamster on a hamster wheel. You're not conscious. You're not conscious of your thoughts, words, and actions. You're just going through it. And it's like a programming, right? And so we unprogram our subconscious. And let me say this again, just because I don't know who's all new here today. So if you're not the one thinking and you're not the one speaking, but you're the one observing that, you are the consciousness, the soul, the being, the one connected to everything energetically. It has you realize that there's so much more to this. Now, this is with practice. For me, I spent a lot of time in nature. Now, remembering too, our brain is like a CPU computer. It's always thinking, it's always moving. That's what it does, right? Your ego wants to keep you safe and keep you in as part of your mind. And the subconscious is the programming. And the subconscious programming is created from birth until the age of 7, and it gathers all that information. Your subconscious only knows you. Your subconscious only wants to make sure you are safe. It does not know anyone else. It only knows you. And it picks up millions of pieces of information every single second. You're not conscious of it. You're not aware of it. So consciousness is that awareness, to be aware, to be keenly aware that I'm not the one speaking right now. I'm the one observing that. And it's like almost up over here or over here, depending, or up here. I'm the one observing that. I can look down at the top of my head right now, energetically. Yeah. And you can remote view. So that's a whole nother story. So remembering that by reprogramming our subconscious, then we can change our thinking. This is why I do custom meditations, 21 days of a meditation. And we'll get a series out on YouTube around this for some basics. Because when you do a meditation for 21 days, where my energy, which is one of my gifts that I've come in with, is my frequency. We all have our own frequency. We all have our own superpowers, gifts that we come into. My entire life, people loved being around me. They felt better being around me. Now, it was really draining for me until I learned more about it. So, absolutely. And in realizing that all of us have healing hands. But to be able to read and understand energy more, to respond to how you're feeling on any given moment, wherever you are, something feels off here. What is it? And you ask, no, it's not that. What is it? What is it? And eventually you'll get to it. Quite often I'll be out in public and all I have to do is gently gaze around and I'll find the person that I'm picking up on. And it's not a negative or a positive. It just is. I'll be like, okay. And so it's where I'll be driving along and all of a sudden I'll get this like huge influx of energy. Pay attention, right? And so I'm super observant. I drive a lot. So I drive a date. And so remembering that you are not your thoughts. That's just what the brain does. And remember, it's, Michael Jackson, made the studio get up in the middle of the night because he had a song he wanted to go record. And I'm like, no, we'll do it in the morning. No, we have to do it now or Prince is going to take it. Because this is how this energy works, where we can pick up on thoughts. You think about movies that come out and there's 1, 2, 3 that are very similar that all come around at the same time. They were all getting the similar message. How do you think Avatar came about? They did plant medicine for that one, but definitely somebody's really tapped in over there. Somebody knows what's going on. Somebody was able to decipher the information and bring it out in a movie. And so there's so much more information out there for a collective consciousness and above, so to speak, and it's not really above, it's everywhere, that we can tap into to get the answers that we desire, which is usually, I prefer things to come from me knowing it's me and myself, not from someone else, but you can kind of pick them up. And so it's not voodoo, it's not witchcraft, it's actually the center of being. It's within you. You have everything you need within you. That's why that is always said. Because within you is your center point, your void, your consciousness. And so as we release the trauma from our body, the trapped trauma, the energy that's been locked in, and everyone's heard about your aura. There's also your torus field that comes out through the core of your body, your energy centers, your nerve centers, whatever you choose to believe, and comes out and goes around your body. This is your field of energy, and you can expand that, and it contracts, and it's changing colors all the time based on how you're feeling or what energy you've picked up. This is why clearing your energy can be as valuable as brushing your teeth. Like literally, I do it several times a day. Absolutely. So it is as valuable as brushing your teeth, but nobody ever talks about it. Okay? So once you've cleared all that trauma out of the body, then you might always find lingering ones, but the majority of it, you get lighter. You feel freer. You realize all this shit that you were hanging on to, that you stuffed down from being a good girl that doesn't cry, or suck it up, buttercup, whatever those words were that you were told, that you are not enough, that you will never amount to anything, all that programming that went into your subconscious and ruminated in there and had you like, do you remember being a teenager? Do you remember how uncomfortable that was when the body hormones started to change? You already didn't feel good about yourself, and then a whole bunch of this shit was coming in at the same time. It's not an easy path. Being human is not an easy path. Being in this avatar is not an easy path, but I can tell you this next generation, these generations coming in now, we've been groundbreaking for them. We're circuit breakers. And so when you realize that, oh, I'm so much more than that, I don't accept that. No, I'm an amazing soul having a human experience, and I get to experience it just the way I choose. And so by taking time for self, working on your own energy, clearing your own trauma so you're not projecting them on others, dropping the judgment of what other people, places, and things, whatever you may judge, realizing in that judging, you are judging yourself, because we are all intricately connected. This one probably is one of the more, took a little more time, right? Because especially with what was going on the last few years, it took some time to come around that as I went down every rabbit hole. It's like, okay. And then I would ask, and so what was the soul experience from that? So remembering as we come into this body as a soul, and everything is a vibration and a timeline, there's multiples of your higher self vibrating on different levels. Now, not necessarily in the same one, right? So you're having multiple experiences, although you're not connected to them here, except you might be dreaming about them. You may travel at night and go and visit them and do other things, right? So often we're closing some of these vibrations and timelines to bring more of ourselves into this time, into this space, into this now time, because this one's pretty magical at the moment, because this is the first time we're moving through this collective consciousness shift in this body. Normally, like the Mayans left to do this. They didn't stay, right? There's a really good book about an Australian tribe that was an original tribe in Australia. I can't remember the name of the book. Norma Jean probably remembers. But they had met this woman, and at the end, they're like, believe it to be real or not. I know it was a real book and a real experience, but she traveled with them and documented. And they were the original, right? And they're like, we're leaving now. And so they consciously left. It's not like they all off themselves. They ascended, so to speak, to another dimension. Remembering dimensions are all about frequency and vibration. Everything is energy. And that's another important thing to get used to. Everything is energy, just vibrating at different levels. And so you will find as you go through this, can't always ride up here and got to come down, right? But every time you rise up, You don't go down as low. And remembering that every soul having experience as a human, that soul growth through this is unlike anything else a soul can do. So that's why some people call it Earth School. But this expansion that can happen here is unlike any other because you get so many experiences in different vibrations as well. And so anyone that comes in and has great suffering or has a disease, right? Or an illness, that's a huge soul expansion. So I'm hoping that helps explain some of that. Anyone have any questions? Andrew, today will get better for you. Yeah, you will learn to remote view. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Melanie. Melanie's supporting Andrew, which is beautiful. I totally live different lives, but similar to my real one in my dreams. Always have animals around me, always. I'm usually saving them or keeping them safe. Beautiful. Absolutely. So what's more real, your dreams or this reality? Sometimes dreams can feel way more real. Mine have been a lot about properties and nature lately. So we've been talking about what is the end goal for Adventures for Connection is to create these beautiful spaces where people can come and get reconnected to themselves and the land. And like I found a pond the other day. It's like, this is the ponds we're gonna have. So it's like really vibrating with that and feeling that as if it's already happened. Like I can't wait to dive into that pond. Yes, we are ascending in these bodies. Absolutely. Well, I'm choosing yes. Melanie's supporting you, Andrea. Let me put it back up there. Tell yourself it's getting better every 5 minutes and smile. Let's call the positive energy in for you. Choosing your reality every moment, every second, every word, every action, every thought. And so you really want to make sure that you're being conscious of what you're saying. This is why being the observer is that superpower, right? To be able to observe what's going on around you and just sit in a more neutral position without reacting, waiting and responding if needed. Sometimes no response is the best response. You'll see me, I'll watch something online. I will say nothing in the comments because I'm just observing. I don't need to leave energy there. I'm just observing. We're talking like on YouTube on the busy ones. So, and your positive energy here is supporting me, right? It's an energy exchange right now because you're supporting me by asking me questions, by supporting what I'm saying so that I can bring more forth for you that is relevant. So if I'm not saying things that are relevant to you, ask me something. I would love to answer more questions. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right. We never did get to the cards. All right. So being the observer. And from there, you start some I am statements. And as you go into I am statements, I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am wise. There's some of mine. I am. So then you're, even just I am. You could sit there and say I am for 5 minutes and watch your life shift because you're reprogramming that subconscious now with something new. So you can write some I am statements. Your name is also your frequency. So I could sit there for 5 minutes, Tanja Jade Powell, Tanja Jade Powell, because that's my frequency. Your name is part of your frequency. Yes. Imagine, observe and don't observe is one of our favorite things. Chuck it in the fuck it bucket. If it's out of my control and I can't control an outcome, I'm just going to chuck that in the fuck it bucket and move on. Right? Be the eye of the storm. Witness everything going on around you. As soon as you poke your nose into it, now you're in the storm. All right. I'm going to split these things up. Knight of Swords. Swift action going on. So as much as Right? As much as some people believe that the world is moving very slowly right now, there is so much action happening. Do you remember that as above, so below means energetically everything is happening much faster than it's coming into the matter part of this life? Remember that matter is what we can feel and touch. That's what the 3D is all about. But energetically, it's all around us. It's happening much faster. Energetically, things can be going on that we have no idea. We have no idea unless we're connected to the energies. And I can tell you, I can feel how things will be. Even within a couple years. So this is that process, and we need to manage our energy now. But things are moving swiftly. So the Knight of Swords, action. Still some emotions around it. But look at the horse running. Look at the red. Safety and security. We're moving forward with action. Now, sometimes action is just energy moving. Sometimes action is just energy moving. So be like this Knight. Don't be afraid to make a direction change or to take action. And remembering that even though, yes, we want to pull, when we pull the arrow back on the bow, we want to make sure our aim is right. But sometimes you're going to miss. And that's part of learning. How do you get better at doing something if you don't just do it? And so sometimes making those decisions around something, and it's new territory and it's different. And I don't know, am I making the right decision? Being in indecision is much more uncomfortable for me than making a decision and going, even if it's the wrong decision, this is the decision I'll make for now, and I can change it later. Because that's our ability to create this reality, right? Yeah. So over on Rumble, or Shay's asking, is it more our birth name or the name we use, like Shay for Sharon? You can use either. That would be up to you. I always say my full name, and so, and I use my full name quite a bit, and that's because that's part of my frequency. But you know, some people call me T. I always call myself Tanja. I used to be called TJ when we lived in Whistler because there was multiple of us. There was 3 Tanyas. One was a petite DJ. The other one was taller, big T. She wasn't big as in big. She was big as in taller. And so she got called Big T. And she was a sweetheart, my roommate, a good friend. And I was like, no way in hell am I being middle T. So I was like, not happening. Call me TJ because my name's spelled with the J and my middle name is Jade, which is my daughter's name. 5 of Swords. So what are they really fighting over? What are they really fighting over? What do you think? It's interesting to observe even, or might they be working together and celebrating? This is what's so funny about the cards. It's what do you see and what do you interpret? Yellow for me is always a positive. And 5 is one of my numbers. So I'm just curious, what do you guys see? We got one guy in white, several in yellow, right? Nothing that matters. Hello, Eddie. How are you? Eddie's in from Australia. Good to see you. Yeah. All right. So I don't see any other questions. So let's continue on with this creating your reality. So then the steps for creation is to get your energy cleared, your mind calmed down, because then you can make clear and calm decisions, right? Some boundaries put in place, space. I used to close myself in my bedroom to give myself a timeout when I knew I wasn't going to be kind with the words to my daughter. But then that made it feel like she did something wrong still. So we had to work around that one. Like, no, this is just for mommy. This mommy needs us right now. And so even now, she knows I'll put myself first. because then I'm better able to hang out with her and do things with her. And we have a great relationship. She's 18 and a half. She'll be 19 in January. She's pretty excited about that. So, and how did I make that happen? No, I didn't make it happen. I allowed her to be her. And she's a very good manifester herself as well. And so once we get rid of some of the clutter and get some space, then we can get connected with ourselves. Remembering that your heart is the first organ when you're in the womb. Remembering that you females out there carry a portal to bring souls into this matter world, this 3D world. 5D doesn't have this. 5D is a state of consciousness. We need to be in the 3D to have this physical experience. So it depends on how you perceive things. You're going to be all light, or do you want to still use your senses to feel, see, hear, and touch? Or can we dip in and out? Right? Depends on what your experience that you desire is. Absolutely. And then as we're creating, writing out what we do want. So we're going to focus on what we want, and we're going to clear what we don't want. Clear what we don't want. Focus on what we want, clear what we don't want. Because if you're focusing on what you don't want, I don't like that, you're going to get more of that. Focus on what you do want. And it is a bridge. So I had a really hard time for a while operating at work in regular 3D, because I was over here learning all this information. I was like, well, this doesn't even make any sense anymore. But now I've learned to bridge the two. I should be able to operate anywhere, put myself in any position, and still be me in my essence. That's the gift. That's the gift of balancing and figuring this all out. Absolutely. Melanie, I asked the rods in which order are the events in my life for these results. I get the Jubilee and then RV and then divorce finalized. And remember, this is for this time and space in this moment, because we're shifting constantly. So absolutely. That should put a smile on your face at least. Yeah. Good. Use your tools in your toolbox, 100%. Hello, Arlene. Tanja, trapped energy. What is the best and fastest way to get rid of where it's stuck in our body? Thank you. And so if you can close your eyes and breathe into the area where you feel. So this is where we need to get in touch with our feelings in our body, because your body will never lie to you. And there's always an opportunity to feel, right? Which is sometimes you can often, when I'm dropping in for meditation, or even when I'm waking up, I check in with my body. Hey, body, how's it going today? What do you need? What do we need today? And I'll feel, oh, I need to stretch this out. I'm super excited about this cold plunge and the sauna, because the sauna warms you up, and then the cold plunge, it's like a shock for the cells, and they activate, which feels really good. Maybe not so much in the moment. But the best way, and so let's not talk about fast, because that's relative to everyone. But you've been really good when I've worked with you about speaking it out. That's releasing. So you can write it out. You can speak it out. Thank you for showing that this was still trapped within me. And then you can visualize a ball of energy, any color you choose. So for example, if something was in my shoulder and I could feel like I can feel a bit of tension right in here. I'll breathe into it, activate. And as I'm breathing in, I'm putting my attention there. And even though I don't understand you, exactly why I'm aching there, I love you. And you can imagine a color of energy again, of your choice, and creating a little ball within there energetically and having it grow. And every breath, it grows more and more, and then releases out the shoulder, out the top of the head, out the arms. Yeah, Arlene, I'm gonna send you a book, RJ Spina. So not unlike Joe Dispenza, rapid healing. He does rapid healing, and so not rapid. He teaches you how you can heal anything. I'm sorry, rapid depends on you and how much you're willing to let go of things that you've had as a story your entire life. So the speed is up to you. Miracles happen all the time. What is a miracle? Well, I think it's reality. It's just not the reality we've been taught. Right? We've been meant to hold down. Here's the final card for today. In every moment of every second, you have a choice. You get to choose what you would like to do. Remembering that, and I love how Egypt's in on this with the Sphinx on top because I'm quite affiliated with Egypt, that you choose what is best for you. You choose your reality, and remembering that you have that choice in every moment. So choose wisely. Choose with love. Choose kindness. Choose compassion. Don't choose compassion into empathy and going to rescue people. You don't. Everyone doesn't need rescuing, right? And that's part of the I call it the entrapment triangle. Yeah. And it's like this, right? You're either the perpetrator, the victim, or the rescuer. And so to step out of that triangle, one needs to just observe, allow people to go through their stuff, and then check things out, right? So you can just observe it. You don't have to rescue people. You can empathize with them. Wow, that sounds really tough. I'm sorry you're going through that. Doesn't mean you can't do something to assist them or guide them. But if you go into full rescue mode and you give them all your energy in an attempt to rescue them, and now you've depleted yourself, and then you got to go home and have a nap. A lot of people that leave you drained in your life, right? Think about that. Yeah. Well done. Shay says, I did Reiki on my car and the check engine light went out. Absolutely. Eddie, 10 years ago, I stopped smoking. I used to have shortness of breath and it stopped. It was a lot better. I still don't smoke, but shortness of breath has returned. I'm getting this trapped energy from childhood. So often where we have a symptom, and I want you to work on breathing and filling your belly, remembering you have more hairs on the bottom of your lungs to flood the body with oxygen than you do on the top. And we're all taught to shallow breathe. Oh, suck in your stomach. No. Let it blow up a little bit. So if you take 10 deep breaths, I think your body needs more oxygen. And it's something often, it's something we're not willing to look at, or it's something trapped in us from childhood, or we're focusing on things out of our control. Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome, Arlene. Yeah, I'll send you. So RJ Spina, you can see he's blowing up because he's got a new book out right now. He's all over YouTube, and I've followed him for quite a bit. But even watching, go watch his YouTube channels, because he starts to give you that I am perspective that we've been talking about. And sometimes another frequency is good, right? I will never say, oh, only listen to me. I never want to be on that pedestal. In fact, if I had everyone here in a room, we'd all be in a circle so we could all share, just like around a campfire. Everyone gets to put their energy in and share that energy. Absolutely. And so on that note, what are you going to do with your energy tonight? What are you going to choose to do? You're going to take some time for you. Read a book. Journal. Make a yummy dinner and put lots of love into that cooking, and then deep gratitude while you're eating it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Little opening for Q. Beautiful. All right, you guys. Sending you so much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. And on the Adventures for Connection website, which is down below in the comments, you can go and sign up for the free newsletter. And we're doing a draw until the end of September. Anybody that signs up between now and the end of September gets put into a draw for a free session with me. And that'll be no charge. So anybody, and there's lots of valuable information that's not anywhere else that's in these newsletters just for you guys. And you can tell it's coming up to an hour because I'm getting wiggle butt. I can't sit for much more than an hour. All right, you guys, I love you. Have a beautiful night. Go do something that you'll enjoy. Melanie's going to journal. Beautiful. Yes. Journal it out. Absolutely. Sometimes a good walk in nature. Yeah. You do you. Have a beautiful night.